Welcome back for another video. Who are the best players to buy this week? As the international break draws to a close, we're going to be looking at the top players to consider. If you'd like to follow this series and other useful content through the season, consider subscribing as well. So let's get straight into it and start with the goalkeepers. The keepers have been a bit of a headache for many of us. Onana's conceded 7 goals in his last 3 games. Pickford's mustered up just 5 total points after 4 weeks, and Johnston could lose his spot to Henderson. This week Fpl actually tops the projections home to Sheffield United. Their clean sheet potential obviously great this week, but in Game Week 6, Spurs face Arsenal, Game Week 7 they face Liverpool. On top of that, their 6.3 expected goals conceded ranks 6th in the league. So although he looks good this week, Fpl probably not the answer. Fulham are worse in the league for expected goals conceded, though they have faced Arsenal and Man City already. Fulham are home to Luton this week, and as such, Leno is projected 4 points. On the wildcard, I think I'd actually have Leno and Areola, since they rotate well, or perhaps Ederson in goal. Last season, Leno was top in the league for expected goals prevented. He prevented 9.5 expected goals. For comparison, Ederson prevented -5.7, so the data clearly shows he's a top-class keeper, so the Leno and Areola combo is worth consideration. There's 2 other keepers to highlight here, Pope and Alisson. Newcastle's fixtures have turned really favourably, including newly promoted Sheffield United and Burnley in the next 3 fixtures, so a lot of clean sheet potential there. And as a reminder, last season they were second best in the league after Man City for expected goals conceded. This season they have started more slowly, they currently rank 6th for XGC, but the upcoming fixture run could see them move up the rankings, and that's ultimately what we're trying to do ideally, make transfers to get ahead of the curve. If you're not looking at a keeper transfer this week, it is one that fits well in Game Week 6 for Newcastle instead, with the Brentford fixture in Game Week 5 out of the way. And lastly Alisson, he's also got a great run of games ahead. Much like Leno, he's got a consistent record of XG prevented. He was second last season after Leno. Wolves this game week and then West Ham home. From Game Week 7 they've got back-to-back home games to Everton and then Forest and then Luton away. With the Liverpool defenders not currently fulfilling their price tags, Alisson could be the one. On to the defenders then, and continuing the talk of Newcastle's fixtures, it's Trippier top of the Game Week 5 projections with 4.9 points. He's also top among all defenders for projections over the next 5. Again, given they face Brentford, if you're not in a position to make a defender transfer this week, it's certainly a move you can delay a week. However, Newcastle are a force at home, so this is a good week as well. Share offers a 1.5 mil saving over Trippier and plenty of goal threat as well, second last season among all defenders for expected goals. Botman and Burn miss out on the projections, but there are also 2 nice options for super cheap, both 4.5 mil. Botman might even fall to 4.4 mil before the deadline. So with that Sheffield United fixture in mind, we've got all 4 Spurs defenders in the projections: Udogie, Porro, Romero and Van de Ven. Udogie's a standout for 4.7 mil, and he's got 2 assists in his last 2 games. They're both very attacking, to be honest, you can't really go wrong. If we compare the heat map of where they've been receiving passes, Udogie's showing far more activity in the opponent's half. If you're getting a Spurs defender, keep Game Week 6 and Game Week 7 in mind, where you ideally want to bench them. Brentford, Luton, Man City and Newcastle rotate very well with Spurs those weeks. Chilwell's projected 4 points this week, away to Bournemouth. He's come frustratingly close to attacking returns. The data suggests it is coming with 2.15 expected goal involvement, second in the league among all defenders. Chelsea's next 4 are still decent fixtures, so stay patient. Game Week 9 looks like the time to drop your Chelsea assets, not now. The one player ahead of Chilwell for expected goal involvement is Cash, who narrowly misses out this week, projected 3.8 points. Also a very good transfer with Palace at home this week. The best time to get him could actually be Game Week 8 when he's got a run of Wolves, West Ham, Luton, Nottingham Forest and then Fulham, but now's not a bad time either. On to the midfielders, and Son's top this week, projected 6.9 points. So a hat-trick right before the break has turned a few heads, and notably played through the middle where he's more of a goal threat as opposed to the left wing where he had been far less involved so far. We know what he's capable of when we look at his season history, even taking the golden boot a couple of seasons back. And his record historically was good in games when Kane's missed out. And of course with Kane completely out of the picture, he's obviously going to be the primary source of goals playing through the middle. However, those Game Week 6 and Game Week 7 fixtures aren't great, so if you're not buying now, then it's fine to wait and see how he does, and then probably buy from Game Week 8 if he does well. Spurs have got Luton and then Fulham for Game Week 8. In many cases, we've already got a great midfield as well, so don't rush around to change everything up for the sake of it. Saka, Maddison, Rashford and Mbumo, Sterling, Fernandes, Foden, all perfectly good picks. If you've got Salah, he's top among all mids for projections over the next 5 as well, easy hold. It's been an international break of drama for Man United. It looks like we won't see Antony after the break, with his return date to be confirmed still. Perhaps this means we see Fernandes playing down the right in his absence, with Sancho obviously out of the picture as well seemingly. There's not enough data to say whether it's a good or a bad thing if he plays this different role, but he's also an easy hold. In a nutshell, this season only Mbumo's got higher expected goal involvement than Bruno among all players. He played incredibly well against Luxembourg over the break. 1 goal, 3 assists, 2 big chances created, 2 shots, 1 shot on target. Though with the greatest respect to Luxembourg, obviously an easy fixture. They've got Brighton in GW5, who have looked leakier than last season, perhaps because of the loss of Caicedo and McAllister. And Man United have also got Burnley and Sheffield United in their next 5. Sterling was so unlucky to blank before the break, and he just misses out on making the table this week with 4.8 points projected. He's certainly a hold if you've got him. 0.73 expected goal involvement last match, but nothing to show for it. Jackson missed an absolute sitter, which should have been a Sterling assist really. Sterling's got a point to prove as well. After missing out on making Southgate's squad once again over the break, he's going to be incredibly motivated to earn his spot over the coming weeks, you'd imagine. Chelsea have got Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Fulham, Burnley, and then it's another international break. That's a perfect 4-week window for Sterling to get himself back into Southgate's plans. Diaby also misses out on the projections but deserves a mention, with Villa's fixtures turning as mentioned. He's 6.6 mil and a really good long-term pick. He's actually top among all Villa players for points with 24, 2 goals and an assist so far. Onto the forwards, and it's Haaland top this week with 6.3 points. Interestingly, that means Son and Salah are both ahead of him this week on the projections, on 6.9 and 6.7 respectively. So if you're feeling brave, and those are 2 good alternative captains to Haaland, we'll run a captain poll later in the week on the channel to see how you guys are faring. Man City are away to West Ham, but in that same fixture last season, City won 2-0 thanks to a Haaland brace. Jackson, Watkins and Isak are all tied on the projections this week with 4.8, so swapping one for another looks too sideways. Jackson a big frustration last game, but again, given they face Bournemouth, Fulham and Burnley in the next 4, plus no European football to contend with, there's still all the potential for him to come good. Watkins is third after Isak and Haaland for projections over the next 5. My concern with Isak is Wilson. Although he started all 4 games so far, he's come off early every game, averaging 69 minutes per game. Whereas with Jackson and Watkins, you'll at least get 80 to 85 plus on average. So Jesus is back from injury now. Is he someone that's being overlooked? Certainly a good option for 7.9 mil, but Arsenal perhaps in the don't sell, don't buy territory. They do have Everton and Bournemouth in the next 3, but they also have to face Spurs, City and Chelsea in the next 5. The algorithm factors in expected minutes each week, and perhaps it's being too harsh on Alvarez here, with 66 expected over his next 5 on average. So far he's played 90, 90, 90 and 89, though if he does get benched at some point over the next 5, that does bring the average down a lot. For example, if he was to get benched this game week even, and come on for the last 20 minutes, then his average over the last 5 drops from 90 to 75 minutes. Only Haaland's got more points among all forwards in the game though, so on a wildcard I'd certainly have Alvarez. The caveat is Man City could start to rotate more with Champions League kicking off after Game Week 5, and between Game Week 6 and 7 they're also away to Newcastle in the League Cup. In fact, the next 4 midweeks they've got games on, so between now and the end of October they've played 10 games, plus an international break squeezed in there. If you're interested in becoming a Scout member for the useful tools like the heat maps, the data tables and the player comparison used in these videos, hit the link below in the description. Thanks for watching, see you soon for the next one.